So where does no-code CRM come into this picture? I mentioned a little earlier, it's going to centralize your data, but how is it going to help you grow your business faster? Well, there's a lot of ways that it can accelerate your analytics, but here's some of the top highlights. It's going to help you with predictive scoring, next best offer recommendations, centralizing, I know you hate to see it, data integration to centralize your analytics strategy in one place. And then if you have a BI tool that you want to tie in and really dig super deep into that analytical analysis, you have the capability to do that with the no code. So we've been seeing our banking and credit union customers having a lot of success with no-code leader Creatio CRM. And so that's why we wanted to specifically highlight Creatio today. Creatio's analysts recognized they're in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, the Forrester Financial Services CRM, for Salesforce automation, Nucleus Research Value Matrix for the past 6 years. They're a BPM market leader in G2 for digital process automation and no-code development. BPM, if you don't know what that means, just means business process management. So they are seen as the leader in this space, and for good reason. They're seasoned in the banking sector. Their platform is extremely dynamic. And yes, is it going to support all the analytics capabilities that I talked about on the last slide? Absolutely. But it's much more than that, and it's much more than centralizing your data. It's also going to help you with loan application management, loan origination and servicing, approval and verification. You got case management capabilities, NPS and customer feedback. There's some unstructured data that you might want to start collecting, and you're going to need a spot to put it in and have it be centralized and glean analytics from it. So there's a lot of use cases for how you would apply no-code CRM like Creatio to get all these positive benefits.
And we can go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be focusing on 3 different points in my demonstration here about how Creatio no-code can help with your analytics needs and projects. I'm going to start with just a little bit of an intro to Creatio and how you can build out a customer 360 view in Creatio. And then I'm going to focus in on 2 different analytics goals using some of the examples that Deneen shared earlier. So I'll be talking about specifically online banking analytics and loan application approval analytics. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pull up Creatio. And I am logged into a demonstration environment. This is my fictional Bank of Megan. And so I'm logged in right now as kind of a super user who has access to everything just for flexibility for demonstration purposes. Most users are typically going to have a little bit more limited access, largely so that you can help them focus in on the things that they need. So I've got like a million things over here on the left side of my screen. Most of your users are going to work in what we call a workplace that's going to be more focused for their needs. So they're not distracted by all of the other features and functions available in the application that they don't need. And so I'm looking right now at my homepage. This is typically where a user would start their day and kind of come back to during the day as they're working. And this is one of the really flexible no-code components within Creatio. A little bit later on, I'll show you how you can actually modify this yourself. And so there's a couple different things that people tend to use the homepage for. Number one is just tell me what I need to get done today. So what is on my to-do list? What activities have been logged for me to complete today? Whether those are things that I put in for myself as a reminder, or someone else put in for me, or even the system automatically generated for me as a task, as a reminder to call somebody or reach out through email, whatever that mechanism might be or that action might be that I need to take. And so I've got just a list here of my tasks that I need to do and some highlights over here on the side. These are all drillable as well, so I can click in and see what is this one task that I still need to get done today, and see some of the information there. Depending on my role at the bank, I might also be managing different types of service requests that are getting routed to me. So I might have some cases that are assigned to me. And again, I could just have a list of those here, whether those are assigned to me individually or my department as a team, however we're doing that queuing and routing, I'm going to be able to access and view that data from here. Or maybe I'm more on the sales side and I'm receiving referrals. So I might have on my to-do list or on another tab like I do here, what are the leads that I'm working right now? What stage are they at? What do I need to do to keep those moving forward to turn those into customers or additional products for my existing customers? Another thing people will use their homepage for is tracking key metrics that they want to keep an eye on. So if I am generating referrals, a lot of times I'm probably being compensated for that with some sort of spiff or bonus. So I want to know what's happening with these referrals that I've generated. Where are they at? Am I getting more referrals for one type of product over another? Where am I doing well? Where am I maybe lagging behind? And so being able to keep an eye on those key stats that I care about as a user, or if I was instead a manager, being able to look at my team. How is my team performing? Who's doing well? Who's meeting their goals? Who's not? And making that data really easily accessible to me. So again, depending on what my role is, what my needs are, this homepage is going to be targeted to those needs to help me find the things that I need most. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one task that I need to do today. So I need to call Madison and check in on some pending applications that she has. From here, I'm going to go ahead and click into Madison to kind of get a bigger picture of what's going on with Madison. What is her relationship to me and to our bank? So from here, I can see a lot of different information about Madison and some of the key facts about her relationship with us. Again, this page is extremely flexible. As Deneen mentioned, part of our process in working with our banking and credit union customers is helping them configure the system to match their business goals, match their needs. But generally speaking, our customers are looking for that customer 360 or member 360 view. They want to know all of the key data points about their customers with as few clicks and as little, kind of digging as possible. So thinking about what it is that you want to highlight and prioritize, putting those data points front and center, making those easy to find for your users when they're getting ready to, in this case, call somebody or interact with them at a branch, receiving a call from them at the call center, again, whatever that role, that use case might be. Oftentimes it is very important, or I'd say we're not even oftentimes, always, it's critically important that we are connected with your core banking system, that we're pulling that data in so that users can see what products and services a customer has, perhaps doing a two-way push where certain types of transactions or actions can also be triggered from Creatio back to your core. If that's something that your bank is comfortable with. I've seen banks on both sides of that fence for sure. And then, being able to see, different points of engagement with this particular customer. What products and services are they using? Do we have any active leads? In this case, we do. Madison's looking at a mortgage right now, it looks like. What applications does Madison have in progress? I can see a little bit more detail here, and I could click in to get further information on any of these data points as well. So again, just the idea here really that I wanted to highlight is being able to pull all of that data together, make that easily accessible to your users, and helping them find the things that they care about the most or that you want them to care about the most as quickly and easily as possible. So continuing on, the next thing we're going to talk about then is online banking analytics. And I'm going to specifically go back to the example SMART goal that Deneen shared earlier. So let's say our goal was to increase online banking adoption by 15% through some targeted marketing campaigns and user-friendly interface enhancements in the next 6 months. If we as a bank have agreed that's one of our primary goals right now, how are we going to measure our success? How are we going to know if the actions that we're taking are working? Well, obviously, again, we're going to need some data to back this up. So as Deneen said, one of the first things you're going to want to do is take a look at what data do you have? Do we know right now how many of our customers are using online banking? What do we actually mean, by the way, by online banking adoption? Is that signing up for online banking, or is it more about frequency of use? If someone signed up for online banking but hasn't logged in a year, does that count in what we're trying to measure here, or is that a no in what we're trying to measure here? So getting really specific, really targeted in what we're thinking about and what we're looking at. And then we need to bring that data together. So in my demo site, I've got just a couple of data points in here as an example. Is this particular customer using online banking? If they are, when did they sign up? When did they last log in? And I can take that data then and start to aggregate that together back on my homepage so that I can start to look at those trends and those stats that we need to understand if what the actions we're taking are working. So that might be something super high level, something really simple like this, which is just what percentage of customers are signed up for online banking. Obviously, we probably want to track that over time. Or again, if we're looking at frequency of login, we've got some customers who haven't logged in almost 2 years here. Maybe we need to do some outreach to those customers to understand why they've stopped logging into online banking. Are they still actively using that account? If they are they having issues logging in? Maybe they forgot their password and they're getting stuck in the password reset process and they've just kind of thrown up their hands and given up. And all we need to do is, give them a quick overview of how to get through that password reset, and they'll be all set and happy and ready to start using the system again. So this could become a calling list or an email list that you're going to reach out to these customers. And again, all of this data is drillable as well. So if I want to know, like, who are these people, I can click in directly from here and take a closer look at any of these data points. I'm also, of course, going to want to start tracking change over time. So if my goal was new online banking signups, I'm going to want to track how many online banking signups we're getting and maybe where they're coming from, whether that's which branch or which team or department or which particular user, whatever I'm trying to focus on there. Again, what are my targeted efforts? Where am I taking those efforts? I need to tie back this data that I'm analyzing, my dashboards, my data views, back to how I'm approaching this goal and thinking again about the data that we need in order to understand if we're having success or not. We can also be looking at, I didn't put on this dashboard, but if we're doing marketing campaigns, which we probably are, we can be looking at different stats about those marketing campaigns. This might be something you're doing directly through your CRM. Creatio does have a marketing automation platform built in, or it might be something you're doing outside and again, trying to pull that data in to a central location for reporting. Whatever the case might be, being able to take a look at that and saying, okay, we're emailing people, we're texting them, we're calling them. What are the outcomes of that? How many of the people that we've emailed have signed up? How are we doing some A/B testing of one email versus another to see what the differences look like? Who's clicking on what links or buttons in the emails? All of that data is going to also feed into that picture that you're trying to paint to understand what's working and what's not so that you can hone in and continue to do more of the successful efforts and less of the things that are not having any impact on reaching your goal. You might also want to think about how your branch staff or your call center staff can be tied into this goal. So that, again, could be scheduling some automated emails or activities, touch points for them to reach out to customers who aren't signed up for online banking or haven't logged in recently. It might be just making an alert right on the screen for them. Actually, it was slow to load here the first time, so we'll see what happens this time. But I put in just, if this was my primary bank goal right now, we want to focus on online banking as a business. That's where we've decided we're going to focus. Then what happened here? The joys of a live demo. Then let's focus in on that. And let's make sure that we're making it really obvious to our users if they're talking to somebody or interacting with somebody at a branch that doesn't use online banking. Let's, like, big red flashing sign, let's put that in their face so that they can have a conversation with the customer about that. Did you know we have online banking? Here's some of the great things we can tell you about it. Would you like some help signing up? and helping them through that process to make that as easy for them as possible. Here it comes. So you can see actually it's loading temporarily there while the screen was loading, but it's disappearing because Madison is signed up for online banking. This would typically be a locked field, but for the purposes of this demo, I left it open for exactly that reason. So we can just, have that simple on-screen prompt wherever we want to put it. I put it at the top of the screen. I used, some orangish color to kind of draw attention to it. But again, that's super flexible, super easy to set up, however you would want to choose to present that to your users. All right, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about the third point here. So switching gears, leaving behind online banking, instead, new goal, new focus, new priority. In this scenario, our goal is to optimize operational efficiency by streamlining loan approval processes, resulting in a 15% decrease in the time taken for loan disbursements within the next quarter. All right, again, if this is our goal, we're going to have to dig into that and decide, where are we going to focus? There's a lot of different steps of the loan approval process. Are we trying to decrease all of the steps by 15%? Are we focusing in on one particular step that we think is a big part of the problem and just trying to get that particular step decreased for an overall 15% decrease? And we might need to, again, start by looking at some data to even make some of those decisions. Where should we focus? So with Creatio, you can either manage applications directly in Creatio, or more frequently, we see our customers using an LOS system and then integrating that into Creatio. So within our applications, we can track, what are the steps that this application has gone through, and how long has it spent in each of those different stages. And so we can take that data then, and again, bring that together onto a dashboard or a homepage somewhere to talk about, or to look at really, our loan approval timelines. So I chose to focus in on 3 different steps or stages in the process here. So how long does it take us to validate that we've gotten all of the documents and data that we need from a customer after they've submitted everything to us? How long does the underwriting stage take? And then once underwriting has made a decision and pushed it back to, the loan operator, to reach back out to the customer and inform them of the decision and talk about next steps, how long does that particular process take? And so we can look at what is our average time spent in each of those 3 different stages. We can look at that over time and look for trends. How long, where is it going up? Where is it going down? What were we doing differently? So we had this big drop here between October and November in our decision stage. What was different there? Was our loan volume different, where our team was just less busy and they were able to get to things faster? Did we onboard a couple of new employees, grow our team in order to, again, help with loan volume and the number of applications each person is trying to manage? Maybe we changed something in our process to make that easier. We added automations to make that easier. So, being able to look at what happened over time and then try to tie that back into what were we doing at that moment in time. And then obviously moving forward, you want to do the same thing. We're going to try changing X. Let's do that for 4 weeks or 6 weeks and let's see what happens. What does that do to our average time in that particular stage of the process? And I do want to show you how easy it is to build some of these things out. So I'm going to use this one as my example. I focused in on just 3 stages here, but there's other stages in the process too, like how long it takes our customers to get us all of the data and documents we need. Maybe we want to focus in on that process. And so we need to start updating this dashboard to show that information as well. This is the no-code page designer tool in Creatio that I just switched to here. One of the things I really love about it is it looks exactly like the final product. So you can almost barely tell that I switched tabs here from the page itself to the page designer because it looks exactly the same. And so let's start with this chart. Let's say I want to add into this chart I think I called it data collection or something like that stage. We'll see what we called it in a minute here. We can just edit this chart, and we've got these different series of data in here for the different stages. So we can just copy one of these as a starting point. Switch out the stage that this is focused on from data validation to data entry. And then we want to update what this is called on our chart and what color it is so we can tell the difference. So we'll change the label here and pick a new color. We don't have anything like pink in here. Let's put a pink in. And that's it. That's how easy it is to change that chart and put a new data series in there. So just like that, we can now look at our data entry stage as well. If we want one of these nice little big box averages as well to make that more obvious, we can copy one of our existing ones here and just go in and change the settings. Instead of looking at the data validation stage, we're going to look at the data entry stage. So again, super easy. We're just going to change out that filter, rename it so we can tell the difference. Maybe give it another color again. I'll go pink so that it matches the chart. And then maybe I want to do some rearranging, like maybe I want to switch this into a 4-column layout instead of a 3-column layout so that they're all side by side. I can drop that in here. I'd like it to be in this box. There it goes. Okay. And then move these guys into those smaller boxes. So, you know, again, this is all drag and drop, as you can see. Really easy to move things around, rebuild them to whatever. Actually, I want data entry first anyways, now that I see it. So we'll go ahead and go like that. I should probably mention here, I'm just working in my demo environment, you know, in kind of the live site here at this point. In a typical, you know, real world scenario, we would be building these dashboards out in a test site, validating them, and then pushing them out to production site, not, you know, changing them live in the system like this. But I just wanted to, again, give you a feel for how quick and easy this is. It's that simple. I've now added the data entry stage into my analytics. I can save this, and in the interest of time, I probably won't actually then go refresh my page, but if I did, it would be there. So again, super easy. With the one caveat of as long as you're already capturing that data. I already had that data in my database. I was capturing it for that stage. I just wasn't looking at it before. If I wasn't already capturing that data, it would obviously take some more work because I'd have to start capturing that data first. Excuse me. You know, we focus on just those 3 use cases here. There are obviously a lot of other ways that Creatio and other no-code platforms can help you apply analytics, whether that's predictive and behavioral analytics, identifying pain points, fueling cross-sell and upsell, looking for insights across departments, looking at automation, duplicating what works. Again, all sorts of different ways that you can apply these tools to meet your primary goals, whatever those primary goals might be.